Right now, we've got a typical view of risk and impact. So we got this technology aspect, and there's an objective, and somehow the technology achieves the objective. But that link, it's pretty fuzzy and it's businessy, and we don't really know. So therefore, we focus on the technology asset because we know what that is. We're in control of it, we think, and we can do something about it. So we look for, well, all the threats that are going to make that technology asset not do what people expect it to do. So we've got a threat that exploits a vulnerability, and we get an incident because of that exploit was being successful, causing the incident. And then, because of the incident, there's some impact, but until it happens, we often don't know what the nature of that impact is going to be. We can't really predict it because we don't look at the whole organization as a system, and therefore all we can do is kind of cross our fingers and hope that we can manage it. The implications of this is really frightening because here's where the traditional approach leads. It gives us a preoccupation with threats. We focused on technology assets, and we attempt security by eliminating vulnerabilities we can't really control. It's really down to what we can and can't control. And so what can we control? Well, we can really only control two things. I learned this from the late, great, legendary Jim Camp. So the only thing we can really control is how we choose to spend our time, what he calls our activity, and how we choose to respond to events. And that's our behavior. Those are the only two things we can control. Now, as an organization, we can sort of cheat, and we can try to control the activity and the behavior of the things in our organization. But that doesn't really work because at the end of the day, people are involved somewhere. And so which makes more sense? Do we operate under the false assumption that we can control things we can't? Or do we live in reality and say, well, actually, there's a really small number of things that we can control. So let's focus on those and not worry about all the things that we can't control, but understand what they are so that we can be prepared once it comes into our world as either something we decide to go after, so an activity we want to pursue, or an event that can happen in our environment that we need to be ready to respond to. And here again, along with the definition of security, this actually changes everything because it's always a choice. It brings it down to who is in control, has a choice to how they respond. Always. In any situation, whether it's security or not, individuals, we always have a choice, even if sometimes we don't want to admit we have a choice. Because control is the ability to start or stop something at will. So if we don't have the ability, legitimate ability to start or stop something when we want it done, then we don't have control. It's fundamental to shifting what we are focusing on in security because we need to think and talk about different things so that we can see opportunities to do our job better that makes us more effective, because we have come to the end of the effectiveness of more, better, faster that we've been doing since the 50s. That's not the world we live in anymore. In the 50s up to 2000, we could kind of control many things. And now we can't. And it gets less and less every day. We can actually accept the reality of our situation and try and think smarter about how we can be successful and effective with what it is we're trying to do. In our scenario of our traditional model, what can we really control here? Well, we can't control the threats. We can't control the vulnerabilities completely. We can't really control whether incidents happen or not. But we can control the vendors we use, and we can control our readiness and response. We can also control our understanding and design of the way we pursue an objective, because the more we do that, the less we're surprised about the potential impacts. The less we're surprised about the potential impacts, the more we know the value of the things being done, and we can prioritize our resources in terms of time, energy, effort, people, all of those things in the right place so that the organization has more confidence they're going to get what they want. So this is the shift that enables security to really, really, really be effective.